One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
Greetings, this is Tai Brown and welcome to One Question. Our guest today is Dr. Brandon Martin. Dr. Martin is currently the Director of Athletics at Cal State University at Northridge. Greetings, Dr. Martin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ty, for having me.
Now, Brandon, you've been in intercollegiate athletics for 18 years. You made stops at USC and Oklahoma, worked with really one of the elephants in the sports industry. And as long as I've known you, you've been very serious about professional development on your path to the AD chair. And I think a good number of other people who know you would say the same thing. How have your experiences in developing yourself personally and professionally help shape your leadership style as an athletic director?
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. In my journey to the chair, being an athletics director, I took professional development extremely serious. I think, to answer your question, it's really allowed me to enhance my understanding of higher education in general, understanding the role of athletics and how that plays into academia, and how athletics can be successfully woven into the true fabric of a college or university campus. Additionally, it's helped me with developing my leadership philosophy, and that's more of a coaching style, more of a democratic style, where I really welcome input, feedback, as long as it's constructive and as long as it's in alignment with reaching the goals that we have set forth in the athletics department. The other piece is it has allowed me on my journey to develop an executive mindset and understanding that athletics is a true business, and each day I have to be better. Each day I have to recognize that I am an executive, and that's the way that I need to conduct myself, but also make strategic decisions within the athletics department. The other piece to it is that there is no finish line in regards to your learning and your growth and development as a director of athletics. So I have prioritized continuous learning each day, and trying to get better through whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, maybe a conference, or even a mentor or advisor that I reach out to periodically just to help me continue to stretch myself as an executive and as an AD.
Well, thinking about the experiences you've had as you worked your way to the position you're in now, and then you've been in the athletic director chair for 4.5 years now, is there the way you learned and experienced things as you worked your way to the chair, is it different now that you are actually in the chair? Like how you learn and you develop yourself professionally, are there differences now that you're actually in the chair?
Sure. There's so much that you can only learn by being in the chair.
Right.
And being director of athletics at a mid-major school, you're in the fire every day. And by being in the fire, it forces you to make quicker decisions. It forces you to be a better communicator. It forces you to come to work each day with a daily strategy and a daily plan on what your priorities are. And I think one of the things that I've learned is the difference between priority management versus time management.
Right.
And making sure that I'm hitting my priorities on a daily basis.
Okay. And Is there a specific thought process in how you do that? Because that's probably something I know I need that. I know probably some of our listeners who listen to this One Question podcast could probably use
A process in regards to the daily strategy.
Yeah, in terms of how you think about, because to make the switch from time management to priority management is almost a different way of thinking.
Sure, it's certainly a different paradigm, and so one of the things that I think about is what am I trying to get accomplished, and what's going to have the biggest impact on my department. And at a place like CSUN, we have many needs. We need resources and funding and attendance. Mm-hmm. We need to garner the support of the 50,000 alums that we have within 5 miles of campus, and that's a great opportunity. So each day I'm thinking about ways to engage the community, engage the students, engage the stakeholders in CSUN athletics. Each day I have to have a goal of how to raise money. And so that requires coordination with the advancement office across campus, as well as my own development team that I have on my own staff. And so those are the priorities that I have each day, in addition to the welfare of the student athletes. So it goes beyond just making sure that we're meeting APR, right, GSR, and all of those benchmarks that we're required to meet. It's about making sure that each one of our student athletes are maximizing their experiences on campus. And it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly.
And if they need counseling services, making sure that it's a seamless process for them, making sure that they have mentors outside of the athletics department, making sure that they have the confidence that when they leave CSUN, that they're going to be a productive citizen and a thriving individual professionally, regardless of the profession that they choose.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's the daily struggle of an athletic director is deciding which priorities are priority, right? Because almost everything's a priority there.
Sure. I think that's a great comment that you just made, Tai. You can't do everything at once, and you can't have 15 different priorities that you're trying to accomplish each day, because you won't get anything done.
Right.
And that's why it's important to hire good staff.
Right.
And you have to take your ego out of the situation and learn how to delegate and put people in their areas of strength.
In football, we used to say, put them in a position to make a play.
That's right.
So you mentioned staff, and when thinking about staff, I would imagine that you being the leader and this is your mind state, it's probably the culture in your organizational leadership philosophy. What kind of opportunities do you provide in terms of staff development for career advancement, and really how have professional opportunities that you provide for your staff helped out your department as a whole?
Well, it's one of my own personal core values that I have for the department, and that's staff development, professional development for my team. I have a firm belief that if the staff is not developing, then the organization or the department is not going to thrive. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And so I've really prioritized staff development, professional development, in a very deep way. And what I mean by that, I've sent one of my staff members to the NC2A Pathways program, and that's been a very invigorating educational experience for her, and she's brought back some tremendous ideas from that program. I've also allowed my compliance director to gain sport oversight responsibilities, which is a new trend, as you know, in college athletics, to get compliance officers more experience in sport oversight. My former associate AD for strategic communications, I also got her involved in sport oversight over our women's tennis program, which really allowed her to get a full sense of the day-to-day operations of really managing a sport. My senior women's administrator, and this sort of happened by default, inherited fiscal and budgetary responsibilities, which has really educated her on the day-to-day financial decision-making and implications and the ability to forecast and make data-driven decisions for our department. In addition to that, I've had one of my senior staff members involved with Cardinal Advisors, with Tom Thomas, with life planning and just overall professional development to make sure that they're focused on not only, what's going on here at CSUN, but where they want to be 5 and 10 years from now.
Right. Well, it sounds like the environment that you create and maintain, you try to make it more than just a job.
Sure.
Right. People working for you get a lot more value than just a position area.
Sure. So the ethos of our culture is all centered around family, growth, opportunity, and those are the things that we believe in. And so instead of putting people in a box related to their respective job descriptions, it's more about, let me maximize your full skill set and let me position you to have visibility within our department with our coaches, but not only in our department, but across campus. And by doing that, my staff is a direct representation of my leadership. And what it does is it just adds more credibility and confidence in where the athletic department is headed.
Right, and it creates buy-in to everything that you try to implement.
Sure.
Well, Dr. Martin, this is excellent information. I've watched you for a few years and like the progression that you've done. I'm sure Northridge appreciates having an asset like you in a leadership position there on campus, and I just want to thank you and appreciate you coming on to One Question with us.
Well, Ty, I really appreciate you having me on, and good luck to you in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. That was Dr. Brandon Martin. He's the Director of Athletics at Cal State University at Northridge. And this is Tai Brown with One Question. One thing Dr. Martin touched on there was buy-in. And as leaders, you have to ask yourself, is working for you more than just another paycheck? And of course, that fits into the philosophy that the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.